check.
We run a tight shift.
Check.
There she is. There she is.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I think everything is going to be fine here. Because while we talk, we're
Every
like
little
right
thing
at the bottom. I'll pull myself
It's
down a
gonna
little bit.
be alright.
Alrighty.
My glasses are fogging so bad.
Yeah, I took mine off. It's like,
Oh my God.
I can't see, but I don't need to see for a podcast.
Yeah, it's just an audio thing.
Yeah. I'm good. We could be blind together.
Yeah, go ahead. Go, Taylor.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crack it open.
Oh God, I wasn't prepared. Oh, so I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm really bad at that.
All right. Welcome
Sorry,
back,
I
everybody.
didn't do the wave.
You're listening to another episode of Cruisin the Planet. I'm your host, Ethan Miller. Almost went into a KTRL script again.
Oh God,
My brain is so tired.
that isn't even your day. Today isn't even your day for that.
This week,
Today's
no, but I've
not
done
your
it 3
day.
times this week.
Oh yeah.
This week, you are joined by...
Taylor.
Cool.
Rissa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's us.
Best crew.
Up top, quick announcement. The Brazos Drive-In is having another double feature this weekend. They're doing Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas. How are we feeling about those?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I actually have not seen Hocus Pocus.
Me neither.
What?
Really?
What?
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. He hadn't seen it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you seen Pumpkinhead?
No.
No,
It's good.
that is not.
Nice.
Have you seen Spookly?
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 The pumpkin. Yeah.
No,
It's a
it
kid's-
sounds so
it's a kid's
cute.
movie.
No, mine's about a
It's really cute.
demon.
Well, mine
Oh.
was about a square pumpkin that learns that all colors and shapes are okay.
Oh.
A lot of inclusion over there.
That's something I would see.
On
That
this
looks-
end,
That sounds really
a
cute.
lot of terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible things on this side of the wall. Welcome back, everybody. This week we have ourselves... I actually went ahead of schedule and did a bit of research. So we got a lot of Tarleton
Wait,
news.
you researched?
And then I even have an article
Ooh.
from the Washington Post.
Whoa.
So
Dude.
academic.
I know, right?
It's almost like we're in college.
So
no
yeah,
way.
it's almost like I'm getting a degree.
That's what this is?
Guys,
So,
sometimes I'm like,
well,
do I actually have one of those? And I do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
That's
you got
amazing.
you got a full-on degree.
Yeah.
I'm
Piece of paper
jealous.
that's hanging on my wall that I paid
Expensive
too
piece
much
of
money
paper.
for.
Yeah.
But it's embossed, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the good
That's
stuff.
it.
That's the good stuff right there.
I actually told some of the workers here that I put it, not here, but in the administration office, that I put
Mhm.
it in a frame and it's on my wall. And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, mine's sitting in a box somewhere.
What?
How could you pay that much money for
Right,
something
yeah.
and not frame it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at a certain level they've moved houses or out of an apartment and are like, there's no need to pull this out of storage. It's
I would
fine.
just keep it in a frame
Yeah.
Yeah. Really nice.
It is
Move it
staying
in-
on the
in the
wall when I
frame.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Piece of paper costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do we all get a message at the same time?
Yeah.
Little extra volume on everybody, it says.
Ah, I see.
We have Lance in the sort of backseat production. He's listening into the episode. Hello, Lance.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
That's our station manager. He is in charge of everything. He's all-knowing. I think, what was the last conspiracy? Andy Santa Claus, I think, was our
What?
last conspiracy that
Nice.
when Brendan used to work here that we had.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty great. Anyways, the Texan Commitment Care Kits, our COVID-19 kits at the Student Center, are all still available. I believe we were walking through yesterday, me and Carly, for Carly's video about Alien getting fired. Check that out next Friday.
I'm so
And
excited.
you can still pick them up at the front desks. I've seen a couple of people already wearing them, so I assume that they're getting close to short supply. So Tarleton students, though they are available at the front desk of the Student Center, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sundays through Fridays, and then 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturdays, except for October 3rd and the 24th. So you're good for about, let's say, a week, 2 weeks.
Mhm. They're really cool. I
If you're
like
in,
masking
if you're at the
them.
Fort
Yeah.
Worth campus, then you can head over to Suite 318, and they are open from 9 a.m. to noon and 1 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays to pick up. And if you're in Waco, you can go to the MAC or MAC building. I'm not entirely sure. Come correct me in some sort of comment form. Come find me on social media or drive over to Stephenville, you fiend. But you can pick those up in MAC 108, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays. That has been the PSA section of the show.
Nice.
Ooh.
Very
Now let's move in.
informative.
Let's move into. Thank you. Slam poetry.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, is that coming out? Has that already come out?
already
Do you want
out.
to talk about it?
It's already out.
It should
Yes.
be. Yeah.
Already out.
Yesterday.
That was.
Last week there was a live diversity dialogue here on Tarleton's Stephenville campus. It discussed slam poetry and kind of the relationship between slam poetry culture and the LGBT plus Q plus community. And just kind of how they intermingle. It was really interesting. You'll get to actually hear some slam poetry on that live dialogue.
Yeah, on the back end.
Yeah, it's just bonus content for Making Space.
Yeah.
My podcast.
Yeah, it's just an extra episode, something that you are allowed privy to every once in a while, only whenever we can physically get Cole and I into studio to get it recorded remotely. It's
Yeah.
because it's always
It's only once a month.
always a product.
Mhm.
It's always like a process.
It is, but it is really worth it. I really enjoyed
Mhm.
the speaker who did this live dialogue, and I think hopefully she's going to come back on and talk
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
some of her Latinx heritage and stuff.
Warning for your ears, there is a cuss word.
Oh, yes, it's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish, so if you don't know Spanish, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I found that's
but
usually
there
how that works.
Are curse words.
To be completely honest. Next big thing. Do we want to talk about a Tarleton thing, or do we want to move into how masks are changing how we see each other because of masks?
That seems like a long cover. Should we do Tarleton things first?
We can do Tarleton things
I feel
first.
like the mask thing's gonna be a minute.
That's all right.
Mhm.
Tarleton has a new Texas rider. Tarleton's new 2020 to 2021 Tarleton Texas rider, Walker Kirk. Kirk, right? Unfortunately, it's his last name, not the first name.
Oh.
Kirk was excited. Walker is a junior in the agribusiness major from Sydney, Texas, and his favorite Tarleton tradition is the Purple Boo. This was sourced from the TSU cheerleading Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
So we have a Texan rider. I know
Nice.
that
we had one previously. I guess he
Yeah.
graduated over the summer, I think.
swear I just saw him at the Purple Out picnic.
He might
He
have
was
come
wearing-
back because, like,
But he was wearing
alumni.
like a cheer outfit.
Oh.
Unless he just didn't want to do riding anymore.
Can they
Or
stop
he's got a
being the rider?
doppelganger. I really don't know.
a doppelganger.
I didn't get to
Watch
talk to
this
him.
Texan rider look exactly like the previous one.
Yeah, he was my
We can
friend.
we can go get a picture of him
Yes.
real quick. Let me
Yes,
go
I
on
want to know.
Facebook.
Because
.com,
the
place
previous
that
Texan
knows.
rider just, like, kind of hung out at Venture because he's an RL, and, like,
Okay.
the
Jeez, I need login information.
previous RHD
Never mind.
was over
Alright.
all of them.
Pretty sure he's got like dirty blonde hair,
No,
but that's all.
not him then.
No.
No, the previous guy had like dark.
Yeah,
Dark
dark hair.
brown,
What's his
black
name?
hair. I forgot.
Eli?
Yes.
Eli,
That's it.
yep.
That's it. He used to come talk to me
No,
a lot when we were
So
on
turns
the field.
out
being drum
they
major.
did not clone Eli and
No.
Oh,
redecorate him for this go
Nice.
around. Sorry,
That
sorry
would
to.
have been cool.
My
That would be a fun conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like, there's one man on campus who's always been here.
Yes.
Lee actually went to duck camp and was, like, in the same duck camp group as Eli.
Aw.
Yeah.
What does the Texan rider do? Sorry to bear my ignorance.
Yeah, no, I have
To the
no
group.
idea. I'm sorry, I'm over here like, huh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh.
Sick.
That's
Yeah,
Nice.
me too. yeah.
Well,
he
he's
rides around.
he's technically
Sick.
so we're the
Awesome.
Tarleton Texans, but
He's the
Mhm.
master.
he's the mascot. So that's why
Oh.
like the old logo before they changed it to the T inside of Texas, it was a
Mm.
picture of like a
Right.
cowboy on his
Yeah.
horse. It's the Texan rider.
Uh,
So
Gosh.
yeah, whenever we're at football games before the team runs out, he's like in the middle of the field, like because the band kind of makes this hallway. We call it a
Mhm.
tunnel T. I think it's been a hot minute since I'm marching band
Oh,
because
oh.
Yeah.
COVID. But
Oh.
Yeah.
anyway, we make a tunnel T, and then that's where the football team runs through. So
Mhm.
when they run through in the middle, there's the Texan rider, and he's like waving the flag around, kind of dancing.
Oh.
So they run through us, and then like he's there.
Just topple you over.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he has a lot of stuff to do with like homecoming. and
Yeah,
such.
yeah. He's
Has the
he's
Texan
at
Rider
everything.
always been a man?
No, we had a girl. I think my freshman year.
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
Sick.
Just want to make sure there's some equality there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty cool. But then I think that was the one right before Eli was
Oh,
a girl.
okay.
Yeah, but they're at everything too. They're just like, you know, like the purple poo or the cheer. They're just
Or like
at everything.
Plowboys and stuff.
Yeah, they're there. It's fun. Yeah, like whenever there's a
We have a
touchdown.
lot of those things. Have
Yeah.
y'all noticed that?
What?
Yes.
I mean, we have the Purple Poo, we have the Plowboys, we
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
Pankus, we have the Texan Rider, we have Oscar P, like
Mhm.
the homecoming
We got a
court,
lot. Yeah.
the what is it, the president of the class, whatever it is.
We have that Jotun that lives underneath campus.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, but like whenever there's a touchdown, you know, they have the usually the cheer guys.
Yeah.
They'll carry the flags, and each one has a letter. In front of them, the rider is holding the flag.
Okay, cool.
Usually.
So he doesn't like jangle the opponent mascot and just like hop up on the head and just go
Only-
crazy
Only when necessary.
when necessary. Sick. I want to see those procedures. I want to get a flare
No.
gun, get it all set up.
I love it when
Just see him bust out in the
mascots
field.
fight.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh, it's
Best
good.
Part.
That's why I watch hockey games actually.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
that-
hockey.
Oh my goodness. Other day I head over to a street fight. Hockey game broke out. Crazy stuff. That's an old joke. That's an
That's
old
funny.
joke. Texas A&M is possibly going to have a 1 or 2 day spring break to discourage extensive travel.
Yeah,
Huh.
I heard that like they were gonna cancel spring break. At least, you know what? I think it was A&M Commerce isn't going to have a spring break
Yeah,
at all.
I noticed that there were a couple of
Wow.
colleges who were saying like spring break, no deal, no dice.
So does that mean we're
They-
getting out early?
They gave us, yeah, there's a couple of things
Oh,
that they're going to
okay.
adjust that. They're going to shift the entirety of the semester back into itself so that you can get out, we have the chance to get out early in the event that no closings have to happen, of course, because the longer we're in college,
Yeah.
obviously the higher risk constantly that
Mhm.
The numbers are going up like crazy.
a
now.
large spreading
Mhm.
event people are starting to get crazy, man. So I
Yeah.
think I think
Yeah.
some students are getting cabin fever. I think you and I were there last
Mhm,
night
mhm.
along with Carly and Jake at the s'more event.
The midnight s'mores.
Midnight s'mores started at 10. When did they run out of s'mores?
10:30.
Wow.
Not
that many
even kidding.
people?
They were entirely out of s'mores at 10:30. There were copious amounts of people out at the event. Like great turnout. Amazing turnout for an event. There were so many people.
Yeah, they had a lot of their like s'more stations very close to one another. What
Mhm.
honestly, what I would have done was have some of them over by the library, which where they all were, and then
Gavin
some
did
of
all that.
them like by the admin building, maybe
Mhm.
by
Yeah.
the Tarleton statue, like just have them more spread out. But they didn't,
Right.
so they didn't use like all of that lawn. They just kind of squished them. And I know it was supposed to be like Dr. Hurley's thing, so it had to be by the Trogdon House, but
yeah.
I think they could have had a better time with spatial stuff if they had.
I don't think they took into consideration or expected it to be so much larger than last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
last year it was like kind of just a standard,
Relatively small.
a relatively small event. Everyone was worn out from all the other Spirit Week things that were going on, all the
Mhm.
other homecoming stuff. This was one of the few events that was open,
And it was the last one.
and it's the last one, so
For
everyone's kind of like
Stephenville campus.
kind of funnel. Yeah, for Stephenville campus specifically, everyone's kind of funneled in, right, to like, oh, it's the last one. Then a lot of other events have been canceled, so each event is even more like of an excuse to get out and do something,
Mm-hmm.
which I think a lot of people are looking for right now, especially a lot of the students who are like stuck in the dorms. I could imagine that you're getting some like Among Us level treachery between people of like, I think you're a lizard. I don't think you understand
My
things.
neighborhood's a little sus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I genuinely think like a couple of people are getting cabin fever and like
Yeah.
people are
Mhm.
getting a little goofy.
Yeah, I'm like tired of,
Yeah.
quote unquote, tired of the masks. Like I barely saw any last night, to be
Yeah,
honest.
which makes sense. It's an event where you eat, so at a certain level,
But
I
not
get that.
everyone was eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
And it was outside, but you couldn't socially distance.
Yeah.
So that was when masks
Unfortunate-
would be required.
Unfortunately, the event was a smash hit. However, like big concerns, everyone is starting to get into like, oh geez, like college, like because looking at a couple of facts, spring break cracked open last year, and we haven't returned since. So perhaps this is truly for the best to like cut away spring break. That way it sort of dissuades extensive travel like last year when there was all the extensive travel. To be completely honest, personally I see this as a benefit, as like only a good thing.
I can see it as a good thing, but also it's like you can't control people traveling anyways. Like there's still people.
You think there may be students who are just like, I'm not going to go to class.
It's online.
Yeah. It's quite
Maybe.
possible.
I don't know.
Those people were going to go anyways. When it comes to like, look, we talk about this a lot in microeconomics of all places, where you use taxes and like minor incentives to dissuade certain activity.
Yeah.
You want to put a small hindrance to get the people who are not as invested, and usually you have a larger population. Not everyone is 100% one thing or another. Everyone exists within a gradient of wants and needs. So how many people want to go to spring break? How many people need to go to spring break, right? How many people don't? All of those little groups, you start putting up barriers, walls, and checks little by little, and you create this funnel for the people who are always going to go. They were always going to make it through them, come hell or high water. The people who are less invested will go all the way up to the last step. The people less invested in them will go up to the second to last step, so on and so forth. I think this is going to cut the fat, really, when it comes to a super spreader event potentially cracking back open, and then everyone coming back to college and just wiping out the second semester.
I can see that.
Because we don't have a long recovery time after winter break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's supposed to spread faster in cooler weather too.
Everyone's inside. That makes sense.
I just worry about people like going and doing stuff anyways.
Yeah.
Just in general, not like that should or shouldn't be a thing. 'Cause you know people get fed up. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're doing it anyways already, and
I mean, we already are moving like homecoming and all the other homecoming events to the spring. So even
all
just
of the
here,
sports.
not even considering spring break, we'll have big events happening next semester. Right after we come back from family time, you know?
Yeah, in the winter break and whatnot, uncontrolled situation. I sound so dystopian, like an absolute cop from like Cyberpunk, where it's just like you can't control the vectors of the population unless you give them like a degrading wall effect where you can funnel them into various groups, and then you can control those various social classes. Like, I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just saying that's how those systems function. Systems of information and people. Because technically that's the other half of my degree, Cole.
I ain't saying nothing anymore. I got like a real beating the last time I said anything. So.
I in no way intended that to happen. That wasn't. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the masks, though, seeing as we're kind of on that topic a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I pulled up this article by the Washington Post that caught my eye because Lance has been experiencing a lot of this in the office as well. Actually, I think right before we were talking about doing a couple more like staff events just to be able to see people without masks. And in the style section of Washington Post, of all places, masks are changing the way we look at each other and ourselves. Basically, this cracks open with a verbal explanation of how, like, makeup in the post-pandemic world is completely changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot more focus on eye makeup, a lot more focus on getting your hair becoming more of a part of things. You're no longer worried about your lips whatsoever. That's a waste. You're not super worried about, like, you're putting more attention into the things that the masks don't cover, and then deciding what mask to put on with things. And then, so if we move like farther into the article, you find a lot of people. Here's the artist they're talking about. Nice double color, like very fanned out, right? a lot of people are talking about in consideration when it comes to masks. There's a lot of people who are noticing that the masks are cutting back a lot of the social laws and rules that humans are following. Some examples are certain people are a lot easily profiled. For instance, like someone who has more characteristically feminine features, who are presenting feminine features, are almost immediately seen as more gentle and more or less hostile versus someone who is like covered with a mask and presents like incredibly masculine features of like the low brow, wide shoulders, tall, and moving like it becomes difficult. And I think I've heard a couple people say it's like, I don't know if anyone's smiling.
Yep.
I don't know when people are
to,
smiling.
like, rely on your body language more.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta talk with your hands.
The ghost.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to join in.
Station ghost.
Like talk with your hands more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Like-
I've noticed like I've made an active effort to like gesture more. Almost
Yes.
like I'm
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
Like gesture bigger. And like bigger eye movements. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I smile, I have to like
squint.
my
Squint.
eyebrows
Yeah.
get smaller, so people realize like, oh, your cheeks are raising, like you must be smiling.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that like I didn't really know any of y'all, and
Yeah.
except for Taylor,
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
like what y'all looked like when I started working here. So I kind of just like I noticed like I made faces up like in my head of what I imagined you to look like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now every time I kind of like see a glimpse of like Ethan or Cole like without their mask on, I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
their face looks like,
Oh
because
my
that's not what
goodness.
I've put
Yes.
in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
was
Weird.
just talking about this with my roommate last night.
Yeah.
On how like your brain wants to put together the rest of the
Their
other
face.
person's
Mhm.
face,
Mm-hmm.
so you can kind of like. I was talking about somebody who I knew who I had never seen,
Mhm.
under the mask, and they had kind of a sharper jawline right about here, but
Yeah.
then everyone's gets rounded out.
Uh-huh.
So you don't really know. You don't know what their nose looks like. You can kind of guess by the top. You don't know
Mhm.
their mouth. You don't know anything. Like,
Yep.
and the guy I'm talking about, he took his mask off once, and it was safe. And I was just like, it was almost like it was somebody different.
Yeah.
Because I thought he had a sharper jawline from the little glimpse of
Mhm.
it, and it actually like kind of was more of like a squared kind
Mhm.
of shape, and his nose like flared out a little bit more than what my brain made up,
Yeah.
and it was just like
Whoa.
a
that's
completely different person. It took me a
Yeah.
minute to be like, oh, like that's the
Mhm.
guy I knew.
Yeah.
It's just
He's always
wild.
been that way too.
Yeah, and we were talking about like, can you imagine the professors? Like, because we know one professor that we haven't seen most of the time. Like, we know our like the kids in the class or
Mhm.
students,
Mm.
and but like they don't know what any of us look like
Yeah.
if they
Mhm.
hadn't met us
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Zoom.
true.
I think Zoom classes make that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Actually, I've noticed that professors are easily recognizing. I've noticed professors where sometimes I can't make it to class because I like need to eat lunch. Ethan, you animal. So I'll run back to my apartment. I'll eat, and then I'll be watching the class in the Zoom meeting
Right.
instead. That way, I'm not running everywhere like I
Mhm.
did last semester, which was insane. But like we talked about this on another episode, one of the benefits of having online classes. The professor is able to recognize me because
Mhm.
they've seen me in class. I've been interacting, and then also I've been in the Zoom when they can
Yeah.
see my face
Yeah.
and they can recognize like the whole thing. So I feel
Yeah.
like if you wanted your if you're a person who needs that like personal connection with your professors, you definitely have to like find a way to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of do both. I show up to some classes and then sometimes I'll do Zoom
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's kind of nice, like, so he can look at the class and see,
Mm.
are we confused? Are we smiling?
Mhm.
Did we laugh at his joke?
Mm-hmm.
And then in person, we could be smiling about his joke and he'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really only go to class if there's something that I really need to talk
You need to
to
like
them about
raise
in
your hand and
person.
like make that the question.
Or
for
there's
the day.
something I definitely like have a lot to talk about, or at least a couple of comments, then I'll
Mm.
make an effort to show up to class like in person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm just there like kind of for lecture or maybe one question or two, I usually Zoom just so that way
Mm.
like he can see us and we can see him, and
Mm.
I don't know. It's kind of a good thing to do Zoom for that aspect of it.
It's also nice when like something comes up that you're not expecting, and like you can't necessarily make it in person.
Yeah,
you have to like be
really
watching
nice.
something, or I don't know. So
I did hear that they might be phasing out the asynchronous next semester though.
Mm.
So that'll be a little interesting for some students. It might be better. It might be a little harder for some.
What is the asynchronous? So you're not.
That's when you're not watching it live, but you're watching the recording later.
Oh yeah. I don't think are a lot of people doing that.
I did that one time. I just like really could not be there at all, and so I mean I felt kind of bad about it because you still kind of feel like you're skipping, although you're gonna watch it and do it all like maybe an hour from now. So I emailed them and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I plan to do this asynchronously. Like I'll have it done by tomorrow. And the professor I emailed about was very accepting. He's like, oh yeah, totally. Like that's cool.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is nice because if something does pop up like where you really, really can't, and they do keep a record, like you have to watch all the way completely through the video till the end until you can get actual attendance credit.
Got it.
You can't skip around and you can't end it early. So I mean it's not like you're skipping and then skipping through it or something. You know, even if you're skipping, you do have to watch it to get credit.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I should start doing a little more of the asynchronous stuff, like dip my toe into that a little bit more, just because my schedule is so hectic and like so much. Like it's fine because I'm so used to having to like force my schedule around something else, but it might be easier if I can be like, hey, asynchronous. So I'm gonna like everything will get done just 4 hours later than it should have been, and that's the only way I can do it. But if it's going away soon, is that just a rumor, or do you know?
I don't know for sure. I just heard it. I'm thinking it's like a rumor happening.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly though.
I think like
I hope they don't get rid of the Zoom aspect completely though.
I doubt it.
That wouldn't make
I
very
really
much
doubt
sense.
it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not until
if,
a vaccine is out at minimum.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of the professors like don't really like the asynchronous.
They don't.
I don't think they do.
There's a
because
lot
they
who
kind of
don't
like
care.
I don't know. They're really like wanting discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but
Well, they're just as locked in as all of us. That's kind of one of the weird things. This is an equalizing event. The professors are locked in just as much as the students are locked in, and the workers are locked in. Everyone's socially isolating, socially distancing, keeping themselves, boxed in from other people. Everybody's kind of boxed in right now, and like tensions are only building.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rather concerned about how this spring break might affect things moving forwards, is because you go away for spring break, you come back, nothing. Like a break usually is like a reprieve of the mundane and continuous things. So like you get out, but what are you gonna do for spring break? What do y'all have planned?
I never do anything for spring break. I just rest.
You okay? Hey, rest is good. I'll take a big nap.
Yeah.
I mean, I will have a lot of planning for a specific event happening next year, so lots of stuff I have to finish before then.
I think we need to take some time on that event as well, probably.
Yes.
Just because I'm highly involved in that.
Yes.
Nice.
You, Taylor?
I am trying to save up. I'm broke. So
same.
I'm saving like a teeny bit every week, and I have like an end goal. And I even took Christmas out on how much I want to like spend on presents and things. So I'm still like saving up for it. But there's like a kind of private hot springs out in Colorado. And yeah, I wanted to get like a group of my friends together. We've already been talking about it, and we were just gonna like all go, and there's like a really big hotel room that we could all just split, and it's cheaper than if we each individually got our own rooms. So we were just gonna hang out in this like mansion of a hotel.
Jeez.
And go, and when you are like in the hotel, the hot springs are free the whole time, and then you get like one complimentary spa day, and then after that you just pay for the it's like nice. But it's not that horrible. I only have 3 people so far, so the 3 people
So far.
So far. That
We're going to
said
hear
that
about
they
this
were
group
really
of
interested.
16 absolutely decimating Colorado.
Yes, sounds good, but like, I mean, it would just
16.
get cheaper.
That's true.
So with our 3, it was like $800. But I mean, that's not horrible because you stay in this, and it was for the whole week.
Yeah.
So for a whole week, you're
good.
really nice. You get free hot springs 24/7. The really nice hotel room that we were looking at.
Sounds so relaxing.
Yeah, there's actually like a private hot springs in the back, like just for you and your room. And there's like 2 bathtubs, and there's just like a spa bathtub like in the hotel. So like it's nice. I'm trying to save up money, but that was my spring break because it's like really it's outside, and you know you have to make reservations for everything. And
they've already taken the time to like isolate the groups.
Definitely. Like they completely cleaned everything there is to clean, and they have a whole page on their website talking about everything they've done for COVID. So it feels very safe to want to go.
That is some high-end stuff.
It is.
That's so exciting, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but because I'm broke.
Yeah.
I can barely go to Walmart and get my groceries, so
Are,
we'll see
are
how
you
that
okay?
Hit like 2 more people.
Huh?
You get like 2 more people.
Yeah. Maybe that group of 16 crashing into Colorado.
Yeah.
Everyone pays like $20 at the end of it. There's so many people.
It's great.
I mean, I could bring a cot.
Right, bunch of sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Bring
I
that
just
those
sleep on a
like
hot spring.
prop up hammocks.
You gotta be worried about that actually.
I know, probably.
You don't want to faint because of that like hot water.
Yeah.
It's actually a real worry.
I fainted once, from hot water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was
Like,
hotter than usual, and I was like, that's okay, I'll adjust. And then I realized I was watching one of my shows, and
While in the hot tub?
it was a bathtub.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and
set your computer or whatever
I have one of those,
on the.
Yes, I have one of those little things that like goes across the bathtub.
Oh, so smart. Yes.
I got a glass of wine, some snacks,
Yes.
and then I was watching my show, and I watched one episode, and I was like, well, this is nice. I don't want to get out. And I watched another episode, but glass of wine plus really hot water plus 2 hours worth of show.
You were in a bathtub for 2 hours?
Yes, haven't you ever been in the
Sometimes
bathtub
you need
for
it.
2 hours?
But yeah.
What?
And then
you
I
just chill, man.
I stood up way too quickly, and I instantly was on the floor. I was like, oh, no.
Wow.
It's okay. I lived
I'm
through
in
it.
there to clean. What are you doing?
I got my
You
my
reserved
rose
a
petals.
spot.
Yeah.
I have little like rose petals that I save and I
wow.
put in there, and I put little bath bombs, some bubbles.
Love it.
Oh,
You get like
I
those
light all
bubble
my
bars.
candles. I have like
What?
I always set up I have those
Like
woodwick
tea
candles that
I love.
I only burn them during my bath time because even if I
They're
just play
great.
like subtle like meditation
No.
music in the background, it just sounds like a fire. Oh.
Me and Rissa
I
over
know,
here
we're
like,
huh? 2 hours. Huh?
2 hours, huh?
Yeah, you just
Wow.
refill it when it gets cooler.
Yes, exactly.
What?
Yep. You can stay in there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get pruny?
I'm there to clean, man. Like,
Well, that's what you take your arms out to have like your sip of wine or
Yeah, you just
I had
like.
some popcorn.
like your toes though.
But then you can you can prop your toes out of the water and
Oh.
you just and then that's when you like sink your upper body in.
my showers are
Toes
like
out.
2 minutes minimum, 5 minutes tops. Like, we
you
don't
need to
have
relax.
them.
Yeah.
Just take one of your spooky books.
you need a
turn off the
bath
lights
bomb?
and just have some candles.
No, I've literally
a bath
never
bomb.
taken a bath
He
since
needs
I
like
was
a
like
shower
4.
fizz.
If I brought you a bath bomb, would you use it and take a bath?
Yeah, I would use it, and I do it wrong because I don't know how.
You just fill the water and you just drop it in.
It
2
has to
weeks
be warm
ago-
water. It won't.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, we went to the farmer's market, and that's the first time I ever bought nice soap.
Wow.
Like, we don't have the money or the time for this type of stuff, y'all. What's going
You know, they're
on
not
here?
as good, but Walmart does have some cheap bath bombs.
Yeah.
Like
It's true. And they're pretty
you
good.
can get those like
What do I
CBD
do
oil
with it
bath
then?
bombs.
Do I just leave it?
You
Why are we doing
it
this? What's
fizzes and it goes and it
yeah, and then it makes you like it moisturizes your
skin's
skin, and
soft.
if you get lavender ones, it kind of makes you like
Mm.
relax and kind of sleepy, and you go to bed after.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, just read your
I've-
book
I've
with
used-
like one of those like cool
Yes.
black and red bath bombs.
Now I need a bath.
Okay. Okay, I got you
there's-
there.
Lush made this one year that was a coffin, and it was
Oh,
black on
yeah.
the
Oh, I
outside.
remember
It was
that.
sparkly.
I'll take an all black bath bomb, yeah.
Mhm.
They're pretty
Mhm.
cool. I like the one that's supposed to look like a galaxy, and they put like that shimmery stuff, and it's like dark blue and purple.
I like their bubble bars.
There's a
Oh,
gin
me
drink
too.
that does that.
I've used bath bombs before and they're cool, but like I don't like the way that they get your bathtub kind of dirty.
Oh, they get my bathtub
you gotta,
dirty?
like, clean it. Some of the
That's
ones.
my job.
Well, like the
Probably
darker ones.
Bad ones. I've never had.
I've
it
never
really
had one.
I
dirty
had
my
it happen like
bathtub.
once.
Oh, okay.
It was like a dark one though.
Well, like,
you
do
know?
you- Do you have
Interesting.
like a ceramic like and metal tub, or do you have a like just plastic?
I got one of the cheap plastic,
Yeah.
the white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
The
a
ones that they're
fiberglass one.
Yeah.
I'm playing with the spots.
You sure are. You're having a good
I
time.
had to have something in my hands or else I get too fidgety. So
You good?
yeah.
Do you need to take a
You ever
break?
seen-
You can
have
leave.
You ever tried those fidget cubes? or
I
whatever?
should
I
like.
feel like those are just
A friend of mine
fun.
has one. I need to get. Hey, my birthday's coming up.
I actually learned how
Yeah.
to solve a Rubik's Cube with one hand for that express reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can get all the way till the very last part where I have to get it lined up in a little cross,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can't do it. I
Oh.
can't get it into the
That-
cross. I can get the
Never.
L, and
Oh.
then I'm
Also
done.
did
Oh, that part's easy.
I
You
had-
just do it again. You do the same algorithm again. You just have to recognize which peg to do it off of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Super sick.
I'm gonna go
I don't
home.
know
And,
what
I'm gonna
they're
take a
talking
bath
about.
and try my Rubik's cube.
Right, and then drop it in the water.
Oh no.
No.
I got really close with my Rubik's Cube one time when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it for like years.
Yeah.
You know? And finally, there was just a couple rock. I just peeled the stickers off. I was like,
Nice.
you know what?
That's me.
I need to feel better about myself.
No.
I've
See,
never
you're
been
the
able to
person.
get it to like
You're the
one
person I
solid
give
side.
the
Yeah.
solid colored cube to. I found one that was made out of colored plastics,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's really elastic, so you can kind of get your anger out of a cube. And I just give that to people. They can't even. If you don't know how to solve a Rubik's cube, like there's a method to every
Yeah.
single one of
Mm-hmm.
them. I don't even give you. I won't give you my 4-sided pyramid. I won't give you my 2x2x2. That one's tiny, and it's the most upsetting to watch. Like I gave it to someone because I was like solving my 3x3 in math class, and then I just looked over, and this dude was like,
Like what?
I was like, "Oh my good," because I what was my time? I had like a minute 53. Was like my fastest
Wow.
time in high school.
Wow.
ADHD. I had nothing better to do, right? And so I like just tossed him my 2x2. I scrambled it, which is like 3 moves, and it's
Yeah.
scrambled. I like slid it to him. I didn't know that I murdered a man when I did that. I had no intention. I handed him a grenade without the pin, and it just went off. He moved every single face. He swore to me that he was there, and then I'd flip it over, and he was completely backwards on the other side. He was like, "How? There's not that many pieces. How? Ah!" Yeah, I had no idea that I just absolutely bamboozled that boy.
Mm. Mhm.
So I just hand
just-
people the one that's
I
like,
like
you can't
The
break
fidget
it.
cubes that actually have like different like buttons and little
Yes.
spinners on
Yes.
them.
Get you a TV remote. Pull the batteries out.
No, it has buttons and spinners and like little knobs that you go like.
Yeah. There's like clickers and like.
Yeah, it's not
things.
just
so
buttons.
Fun. So fun.
But
Mm.
it yeah, maybe I do need one of those.
That would be a good one.
Jeez.
I mean, if like Benny was here, I would just be like,
Or you could get
But-
hooked on ketamine.
Oh,
no.
All right, never mind.
Probably make
dark
it
turn.
worse.
Nice.
Too late. No.
Carly says that, running us back onto topic, Carly on the chat, she says, I like the course readings for the purpose of taking notes because my teachers fly past slides.
Oh,
anyone else-
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone familiar with
Yeah.
the, I didn't prepare my lecture properly, so I'm going to go through all the information at once, professor?
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Or some people just talk so fast and they still have so much to talk about when you're like, it's 10:50, sir. I'm done. Please.
Yeah, that is a bad thing about Zoom because they're like, oh, well, they're at home, and then they can just keep going and going.
Yeah, I'm like, no,
and
you
it's
still have
like,
class time.
I still have a
Hey, I
different
got-
class.
Hey, I got
you know?
work and another class. I still haven't eaten for
Yeah.
today. They're like, oh, you
Yeah.
can go and then just catch up on the recording.
Like, no,
At a
in the
certain-
class when you finish.
At a
Yeah.
certain point, give me
Classes.
all of your teaching books,
Yeah.
and then I'll just do it myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
online classes with
Mhm.
asynchronous is basically just like that.
It's pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone as full on. I think I mentioned this like early on when we had everything announced. I haven't gotten this far, but I'm gonna do laundry tonight. I think I'm gonna rewatch one of my classes
Oh yeah.
while doing it, cause it's like it's an
Yeah.
app. Laundry takes like 2 hours, so you can't really be doing anything
Mm-hmm.
during the time that it takes. But that's enough to like get ahead on a bunch of things.
This is true.
Mhm.
So at a certain level, you can just kind of like get it done.
Yeah.
I find this interesting that like a couple of years ago we started having places like lynda.com and Masterclass, all of those. Y'all have seen those advertisements on YouTube and whatnot, and now all of a sudden colleges just are that. I know it's gone like a weird roundabout way to get to there, but something interesting I think is if we continue to stay in Zoom, it would make sense to like actually produce like us version of produce those lessons and those episodes into modules and structures, and then all you have as a professor, like I think this would make perfect sense, is like do all the work over the summer, record everything ahead of time, get your scripts figured out, everything that you want to do, all of your examples, then you get it down to a half-hour video. Pull off of the video. So, all right, everybody, these are all of the notes here. This is everything. Now, any questions, we just go from there. You can revisit examples and stuff like that because you're still paying to interact with a professor to teach you the stuff. So I'm not saying go full in on like
no interaction
whatsoever. That would be stinky. Rather, you get this idea of like, oh, this is the stuff that's redundant. You can watch this at any time. You just have to watch it before lecture. Things of that nature, where it's like you can watch it during lecture effectively, really, because it's just information. I mean, if you think about it, that's the exact same thing as professors who give you like readings that you need to get done before class. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get chapter 1 read by before then. We do it a lot in like STEM programs. Yeah. It's like you need to know the words I'm using before you get in there.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I just think it would make a lot of sense, like, and at a level of efficiency.
I mean, there is stuff like that, like Khan Academy does that. Yeah. You have to like contact them if you have any questions. But I think that's really cool. It's what I used as like kind of an assistant when I was doing my virtual school in high school.
I know a lot of people use it for their math program.
They also have like GED stuff and.
Yeah, they do as well. I know that a lot of people use the Khan Academy specifically for their math program. Yes. That was one thing that like I know a lot of people struggle. I know a lot of people in high school and growing up really struggle with math versus like more creative fields. I completely get it. I was always pretty all right at math, but I totally see looking at how some people teach math that you could be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and with
what are you talking about?
With that,
man?
I mean,
why do we have 3 pencils over here? What are we doing?
And it's not just math, but it is everything, and you can like pick out specific topics that would be more difficult for you, where like you could kind of apply that into coursework where you test out of some of it that you already know or that you can do just by the course readings, and then have that extra like video aspect that can be, okay, I'm really struggling with this, here's the video, and then like maybe he has office hours afterwards.
I have a quick speculation style question for the audience.
Okay.
and the panel, of course. Do y'all still think that the like stereotypical I want to fail a certain number of students exists?
I don't know. I don't think. Does anyone really like want to fail people?
I didn't realize that was a thing.
It's like a very cliche.
I mean, I had a professor like that, but he is fired, so.
Right. I think that if you're teaching and your intent is to fail a certain percentage, then that's not okay, because you're assuming that there is a certain percentage that needs to fit, you know? Like
it just reflects badly on you as a professor. Like when so many of your students fail, then it's probably not their fault.
I think there's a point when you're a professor that you have to say, okay, if everyone's passing this with flying colors, maybe it's just the teaching, or maybe we do need to make it a little more difficult or more complex and deeper into whatever the subject is, where you need to kind of do that. But I don't think your goal should have your students fail. Your goal should be to teach them what they need to know when they get out. And I don't mean when they get out into the real world, but like as in when they go to their specific career field. Is this what they need to know?
Well, also like I think a lot of teachers that I've had, they look at it as like a case by case, like a certain class. Okay, this class as a whole is just like a little bit more advanced than the average, so I'm going to challenge them a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that.
And then like if the class is struggling, then they still keep that foundation of what they absolutely need, but they're not gonna
Then maybe
give
you
them extremely
different ways.
challenging things, because they're not ever gonna be able to achieve that, you know.
Right.
So
I mean, and of course there's always like the whole curve situation that you always have. I know I took a particular class where the highest exam grade in the entire semester was like a 59. So
I mean,
people passed.
Have any of y'all taken a physics course on campus before?
No.
For most of the tests, and I can't speak for every single professor because I've been here long enough that there's been a few different ways it's been done. But I know that on the majority of it, if you get certain professors, it is, if you get a 50, you get an A. Because the problems are so complex. Everything is so time consuming. And you literally, you got to be down to the 0.01, and you got to be down to the 100th place on every decimal.
that's like calculus. Like like the problems, you'll have like 2 problems.
Yep, 2 problems
and
a page.
Every little step of it is worth points. So you could totally get the wrong answer but still get a good grade.
There's another part of it though. It's like you don't have to get a 50 as in you got like you only were able to finish half of the problems. I have multiple times, I made it all the way through like most of the physics and calculus courses for my engineering stuff. There were times where you had the completely wrong answer, like so absolutely painstakingly wrong, and you get like an 80 on the problem
because you did the system correctly. You get your test back, and then I'd go over to my professor. I'd be like, "Hey, I want to know why I got this wrong." And he says, "All right, walk me through all your steps." And I'm like, "Okay, so here's the deal. I saw we had this problem here. I recognized it to have this smaller problem inside of it that I know a shortcut to solve. So I pulled that part out of it. Then I took this part here and I applied this function that we were shown in this formula here, this modification, blah, 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 steps A through Z." And then down at the very end, he was like, "And you forgot your minus sign. Go ahead, 89. And I was like, oh, yes. Because you'd come out of those tests with like 60s, 50s, 30s. Then you'd walk in and get another 60 points so easily because you just show him what you know, how far the process, and he's like, "Okay, you forgot to finish making your fraction, or you showed it in decimal. I wasn't looking at decimal. You're fine."
Yeah, like you accidentally leave something out of the bracket, and it completely changes the whole thing.
Right.
But you did it right. Like sometimes you'd even get points for like continuing the steps, but with that, like say it's like one higher or lower number that you used in the like in the other parts of the problem, and then you could get credit for those just because like you did the problem right, but you messed up on one tiny little number.
So there's like very, very strange when it comes to like grading, very a lot of different things. And now I'm in business, which is all definitions. I took a test last night and I didn't do super great on it.
You have to learn to use the jargon.
I absolutely demolished the math portion because it's all microeconomics is mostly like supply and demand and learning every single facet of that one graph. Like literally, I could explain to you the tax breakdown for anything now. It's a very powerful tool. I didn't even know. It's so cool. But I just really like math. But then aside from that, there's a level of like elasticity. And I was like, what? Like how stretchy something is? And they're like, no, it's the willingness of the consumer to purchase something at a higher price or a lower price. And something is inelastic. Is it unit elastic? And I was like, I don't know. Dude. I didn't know I had to memorize things.
Yes.
It's very different.
Very different.
You know what's great about the wearing the mask though? Is that all of your
notes in
your
there?
breakouts from midterm stress.
Oh
you
yeah.
can hide them. I'm so broken out.
Oh my gosh, I'm just broken out because of the mask.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's not
the sweat.
Yeah, but I don't have to wear
accumulates.
makeup
Mm.
to cover my pimples.
This is true.
You're right.
Because
You're
of
right.
the
Yeah.
mask.
Let them breathe.
Your pimp.
They nicknamed it mask acne. It's maskne.
Maskne.
All the YouTubers talk about maskne.
Yeah.
And on like Etsy and stuff, they're like, Buy the silk mask to help with your mask knee.
I mean, does that still
Yeah.
work the way it's supposed to?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, so-
not at all.
Silk, you just have to line it a few times. You can't just have
Okay.
like single.
Well, then you're right back to your sweating problem.
Well, especially in Texas, man.
Silk
It's
cannot-
still hot.
Silk can't hold
Still-
bacteria.
Oh.
That's
It's
why.
kind of a vicious cycle, though. You get acne because of the mask, and you can't get rid of it. You know.
Because you
Yeah.
can't take
Yeah.
off the mask and
Yeah.
let
Right.
it breathe, you know?
yeah.
It's like me with bangs when I was a kid.
Oh.
The drink?
Yeah.
Just
No.
absolutely
your
No,
decimates.
your
Oh.
hair bangs.
Yeah, you cover up the acne, but then like
It
the
makes
oil
your
and
oil
stuff,
makes it
worse.
your natural
Yeah.
oil
Is
from your
that-
hair makes
Yeah.
you
Is that
break
why
out more.
bangs like become a
I'm
thing?
sorry.
I mean, that's why I did it a long time ago.
Mm.
When I
I
was
just
a
liked the way
kid.
it looked, but then I started to get acne.
Yeah,
so
so
I was
then
like,
you
oh,
couldn't get rid of it. Yeah.
until you like let it breathe, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm
I
showing
feel like
everyone.
I feel like that was part of the reason why the outrageous like long side part
Yes.
from like
whoosh.
yeah,
Oh,
I was like
yeah.
in 6th grade when that was such a big deal. And it's like, well,
Mhm.
because you kind of had acne all over here, because that was right when.
Yeah.
I always
kinda
get it from my
that.
glasses right in here,
Oh yeah,
Mm.
right in
I
there.
definitely have a lot right
Mhm.
here, just from the mask. Like,
Yeah.
right around
that's
my
on
chin.
chin and like right
It's
here
so
and
annoying.
into my nose.
Mine accumulates like right under my nose. I guess it's because like where my humid breath, human
Human breath.
Human breath.
humid-
My human
As
breath.
opposed to your reptile breath.
exactly, my humid breath like just like makes me sweat right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I got a lot of lip sweat. Yeah, I'm gonna take my mask off someday and go. Whoa.
Whoa.
Who is this
Yeah.
actually?
Needed some
Actually, who is
Curology.
this person?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
going
think your
back,
face
going
looked
back
like
to our
that.
article, like, wow, Taylor, I forgot how you looked. And you're like, no,
Wow.
I've changed.
Yep.
I'm a different human.
Yep.
I'm no longer
Yeah.
human.
Yep.
I'm sorry y'all are having such a bad time.
It's okay. You can't
Um,
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it just sounds like there's a lot of pain hiding
Yeah.
behind those
Just have to
things.
keep our secret.
Now I'm like, I don't want to take it off even when I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
know.
Like when you're eating, you're like,
yeah, I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
oh man, I wish I could eat
Yeah,
with this
that's
thing on
sneak it.
because I'm ugly. Just kidding. You're not ugly if you have acne.
no.
I feel personally like, yeah.
I understand.
No.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I've struggled with it since like 5th grade.
When
Yeah.
when is that supposed to go away? Because like it's
Acne?
supposed to like go
Supposedly,
away at
like
some point.
early
See,
20, like 20,
I-
like
Well,
it's supposed to be
that-
gone.
see,
I'm about to turn 22 and it
I
is
know.
not gone.
Same.
I have
Same.
never like had problems at all until like just recently. It's just like boop,
Yeah.
all there, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal with
Yeah.
this.
But I guess at 20 you're supposed to actually, start taking care of yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I missed the mark.
Maybe,
I gotta
maybe. there's
Stop
a-
drinking all the cokes and eating all the fast food.
Dude, I
Yeah.
like don't have soda. I have like a very detailed skincare routine.
I actually had to be
I do
really
all
careful
of it. I
because
still
like
struggle.
that event next year, I'm really trying to get better.
Yeah.
How to do it? Yeah.
Actually can't relate.
Mhm.
Nice.
You
That
don't
I
must
own-
get
be
acne?
wonderful.
I get acne and then like pop
Hairs.
next
Mhm.
next week there's a hair there. That's how it works.
Just
Every
looking
single
gross.
Same.
every single hair on my face.
Was a
I've
pimple
popped
at
it.
some
Was
point.
was a pimple at some point. It's like the pore activates, oil fills them, bop.
And what?
I have a lot of blackheads on my nose. I'm gonna have an old strawberry grandpa nose,
Mm,
but that's
Yeah.
cool.
Glad you think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you're
I have the
into.
same issue. That's why I
Mhm.
was like,
Yeah.
glad you think that's cool, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get one of those like,
Ooh,
you know,
suction.
Ooh.
do they work?
I
Do you have one?
I don't have the suction. I've heard it's bad. I got this little tool from Japan. It's from Japan, and it's the little ultrasonic like vibrating thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a scraper.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks, and it like the scraper part vibrates at this like super fast speed, so it takes your pores and like opens it.
Does it work?
Yes.
Oh.
I was having like a bad like hormonal breakout,
Mm.
and I gave it a go, and like the next 2 days, poof, it was gone. Yeah,
Oh.
it's amazing.
Interesting.
It was so good. Like I got the strawberry happening on my nose.
Mm-hmm.
I just ran that right on top, and it was clear crystal. Like it was all cleaned out, and then I have this primer from Elf called Poreless Primer,
Oh.
and you put it on
Yes,
top.
I just bought that.
It's so good. I
I like
swore
that
by
one.
it. It was so good. So when when I put it on my pores, it like makes them go away. So I use my
I-
Japanese tool, and then I put the
you
elf
gotta,
stuff
you gotta
on.
send me a link to that or something.
Okay. It's really
Yeah.
not that expensive, and it's so good. 4 grand.
Ethan's over there like,
Yeah.
this has definitely got out of hand.
That's what happens when you invite 3 girls on your
Hey,
panel.
skincare
This
is
has literally
important.
never happened before,
Skincare
and
for
I work with
any
only
person of
exclusively
any gender,
females.
yeah.
Hey, skincare is important
For any
everybody.
person of any
Yeah,
gender, please
true.
take care of your skin.
Yes.
It's nice.
It's the biggest
I'm
organ
trying.
on your entire body.
Yes.
There you go.
It was
Thank you
you.
for joining
Yeah.
our.
Thank you for that
talk.
Yeah.
that 11-minute PSA on skincare and
Yeah.
strawberry noses and
Drink-
Japanese
yeah.
things.
drink water.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Water. You're supposed to have a gallon
Wash
a
your
day.
face.
Yeah.
I want to like get one of those motivational
A gallon a
water
day
bottles,
just for.
But you can't find them like in store anywhere. You
Just
gotta
buy a
like
mason
order
jar.
them.
Yeah.
Mason jar.
Yes.
It's not big enough.
There's like on Etsy.
Refill it. What?
No, it's supposed to be like those big motivational, like you can
Like-
do it. You're
yeah,
halfway
and it's like
there.
a gallon.
da-da-da-da-da,
So
you know
cute.
what
I
I'm saying?
want one. They're so cute.
Buy some milk.
I despise milk.
But it's not cute.
Get a gallon jug.
Yes, it
and-
is.
To carry around
And a
gallon.
Sharpie.
What am I gonna
Yeah.
do with that milk? Just pour it down the drain? No.
No,
Turn it into cheese.
A lot of cereal.
drink
Mhm.
it straight from the
Ju-
jug.
no, don't listen to these two.
That's
listen to,
what
listen
I
to me,
do.
Cole. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get all of that milk. You're gonna get yourself some Parmesan cheese, old and aged. You're also gonna go get yourself a little bit of mozzarella because you know it's good. Then you're gonna make the absolute most fettuccine alfredo in the entire world. You're gonna decimate like an entire population of chickens
Isn't
just
that
for
gonna make my
this.
skin worse though with all that?
Or we
oil?
buy
Oh,
a gallon
yeah.
of water instead of milk.
And then you eat it for the next month.
You're right.
Doesn't milk cause people to have acne?
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
can.
was about to
Yeah.
say.
It can.
That you're like
is it the
before
lactose
certain
or-
like
Yeah.
events that you don't want to like when you want to have like nice pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
You
Have some
like
almond
are
milk.
supposed to cut out dairy for like
Yeah.
the 3 weeks before that.
I realized I actually very recently
Very hard.
discovered that I am lactose intolerant. Learned that the hard way.
Oh no.
But I am. And it's kind of like a new thing. So I've been cutting out like anything with lactose and a lot of just dairy products just to like be safe.
Yeah.
And my skincare has like it's gotten better. Like my skin it's not perfect, but it's gotten a lot better.
Good.
So I bet it
I
does
don't know
have
if I
something
could
to do
cut
with
out
it.
dairy for like
Oh.
It's
that
hard.
hurts. I like cheese.
Yeah.
I like
It's
cheese.
good. Yeah.
I've been trying
But-
to go vegan. It's just so hard.
Vegan.
Oh, I love
You
hamburgers.
gotta be careful though. You gotta be careful with some of the vegan products though, because
I
they're actually
love
hurting the environment.
hamburgers. That's what's keeping you from vegan. Is
Yeah.
Just make sure you know where
Whataburger.
your vegan stuff comes from and
Grow it
if
yourself.
it actually ends up hurting the environment.
Yes.
Grow it yourself.
All organic.
Start with a bundle of worms.
No.
Buy yourself
No.
a tilapia.
What?
Not a finished tilapia,
just
but
gonna
a
eat
fresh
dirt.
baby tilapia.
Eat dirt.
Basically,
Yeah.
you get the worms.
It's organic.
The worms are your composters, and then all of that
Technically,
soil.
anything with carbon is organic. but
That
okay.
soil
I always
thrown down on
That's
the
always a
stuff.
silly concept to
I
me.
know, but
That's
it's a buzzword, so they put it
Yeah.
on product labels.
This is
so
organic. Like
everything that has
okay.
carbon is organic.
Yeah, it's
So-
literally
Yeah,
Everything's
everything's organic.
like my carbon steel knife. I call him Fred.
Oh, he's organic.
The first thing I thought of was like like Nick. Is it Nickelodeon with Fred? Fred
Yeah.
with the backwards hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
You know what I'm talking
Okay.
The old
She
YouTube
knows what
star.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 He was it. Yeah, I guess he was.
Yeah.
too.
Huh.
I was thinking iCarly.
I
and
grew up
Fred.
without cable. I'm the wrong person for you to look at for confirmation.
Okay,
I
Rissa,
grew up
you got
without
me.
cable.
Yeah.
I
I didn't
yeah.
have no Disney Channel,
Oh wow.
no SpongeBob.
Is that what causes a person to end up like you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's
That's rough.
tragic.
That's rough.
The only time I got it was when I'd hang out with my friends and they'd have it on TV. I'm like, oh yes, like I can be cultured today.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
know
feel-
just enough SpongeBob quotes in the
Oh.
theme song to get by and trick people into thinking that I grew up with it, so that way I'm like
Mm.
accepted.
All the
but-
online memes probably help. The resurgence of
it really did.
SpongeBob.
Yeah,
Mm.
good stuff.
Awesome. I didn't know that was your deep dark secret. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing.
No cable.
Thank you for being vulnerable in this space.
Oh, it's so hard.
I'm really glad that I was able to sort of nurture an area for
Mm.
you to just
Yes, thank you.
share. Anyone else have any large proclamations they want to share?
They're not letting people take to-go boxes in D Hall anymore.
What?
Yeah, so you know how they used to have like the green boxes that
Yeah.
you can take to
I
go?
saw some walking
Well,
around.
those are still in existence, but when the
They exist.
when the semester
must hunt them.
started, all you had to do was swipe in for food, and if you wanted to take it to go so you didn't have to sit in,
Yeah.
you could just get one of those like styrofoam ones and didn't have to pay for the green box.
Mm-hmm.
But now they are nixing all the styrofoam ones, so you have to buy the green box.
Well, that's probably good.
Oh, it's weird that you have to buy it.
Yeah, that I have mixed feelings because yes, it'd be better for like environmental reasons and
Yes.
stuff to reuse the green boxes, because they're plastic and they get washed and you get a token.
Why
Whatever.
can't you just like check it out? Like you swipe. so,
Yeah,
like,
but you have to buy it. That's the thing.
Every
Do you-
time?
I know this is like maybe a weird thing to say, but do you ever feel like the university is like price gouging us? Okay, like a sandwich for $5. Like, what if I
Oh, like at
couldn't
the
go
cafe.
anywhere else?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything, a water in one of the
it's like
the
$3.
Bro, water
Yeah.
is expensive.
$3 out of a what are the machines? You
Yeah.
know,
They wonder why college kids are
I'm
broke.
like,
Rissa,
that's a little
Rissa,
bit
you can continue
ridiculous.
this, but if I get a phone call, we're shutting everything down immediately.
I'm just saying. I was
No,
thinking
go
about
ahead,
it the
go
other
ahead.
day. Like I was going to get a water, and like $3 for a water out of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Like,
Fun fact, did you know it's
$5
not illegal to
sandwich.
collect rainwater?
yeah.
I thought it was.
It's-
Nope.
Texas.
Only in one state.
Wait.
Where?
There's only one state
That
it's
was
illegal
it
to collect
possi-
rainwater.
Isn't
Why
it
is it
California?
illegal?
Huh?
Why would it be illegal?
For like breeding mosquitoes and whatnot. They've only made it illegal
Oh.
in one singular state because
Okay.
the rainwater collected can just like really mess up a bunch of people. Because like flies and stuff that live in them. But if you already have like ponds and lakes, that's no different.
Yeah.
Texas, yeah, totally legal to collect rainwater. People don't like it because you're not paying the water company anymore.
My
But
parents did, and they would
Okay.
just water like their plants and like dogs and
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
You have like
Just
a,
get
like
a big-
cistern.
yeah,
So
just
nice.
get a big blue bucket connected to your rain
Oh, they have,
gutter,
like, the
and then
fancy
actually clean your
rain
rain gutter.
Yeah, I like to stick like mason jars outside. Like whenever it rains, and then I'll water my plants with it.
Yeah, I do that too.
I am a fiend for glass and ceramic drink and eatware.
Mhm.
Love the stuff.
Y'all ever made sun tea?
No.
Yes.
I love
heard
it.
of
It's so
it.
good.
It's the best. I used to make it with my grandma
Oh, it's so
in
good.
like giant mason jars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
great.
so fun. I remember
Yeah.
my mom did that when I was a kid. It blew my mind.
Yeah, it tastes so good, especially in Texas. Like it's the best place to make
Yes.
it.
You're
Mhm.
gonna have
that
to
sounds-
explain sun tea. We're gonna have to get you on next week because we did just run out of time.
Okay.
no.
I know.
Rip sun
Uh,
next time.
Sun tea.
I was expecting a lot different conversation out of the notes that I had prepared in the topics. Was not gonna shotgun skincare routine and like take
Price
care
gouging.
the take care of yourself talk
Yeah.
and then immediately flip it into corporations are evil and they price gouge us.
Yeah.
Collect
Yeah.
rainwater.
In sun tea.
I
You
I
make sun tea
really
with your rainwater.
Yeah.
I was really looking at like masks affecting your thoughts on how people look and like how do you judge people at a distance, that sort of conversation. Maybe I should have grabbed Jake.
Yeah.
So
You got skincare and tea with us.
yeah, I got skincare and
Yeah.
tea. So that must be
Alright.
that's my fault. Oh, and apparently it's because I brought in 3 girls.
Yeah.
How dare you, Taylor?
I think we're pretty interesting.
How dare you? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you put it all up to being as the
But-
feminist of the podcast.
Okay.
Ethan's the real
You listen
issue.
to my
Let's be
how to
honest.
identify misogyny and how to react to it podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Hey, let me pull up the ending script so we can get everyone out of here because we still have other things we have to work on.
Oh.
I edited it this time. See if you can catch the difference. Listeners, viewers, we come to a close on this here episode. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find this show on our YouTube channel at Tarleton Radio as a video, or you can listen in on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts. Just look up Cruisin the Planet. For updates about the show and other interesting things we make here at the station, follow on all of our links in the description. This has been your episode of Cruisin the Planet, where you can find something to do in and around Stephenville every week. Don't forget Brazos Drive-In. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you have any questions or suggestions, ask them in the comments, or as a review of the show if you happen to be able to do that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.